I swear to God, one day I'm actually going to get a real microphone and stop using my phone as a microphone, but we're not yet there. Hello, welcome back to my studio. My name is Nicole, if you don't know me. I am an artist and printmaker based in Melbourne, Australia. Today we're going to be looking at some budget-friendly ways to source materials for your art. I'll be sharing some of my own work and some of my own art practices that use unconventional, budget-friendly, and easily sourced materials. And I will share with you some other ideas that I have that you can put into practice if you would like to. If you're watching this video because you're feeling the need to cut down your budget for a hobby like art making or even your creative business, I don't think you need to look at this as a deprivation. By allowing into your practice the element of chance, of finding new things, of scarcity, so not having exactly what you want but making decisions with what you can use, and synchronicity, so you have an idea and suddenly that thing appears for you. It feels like you've entered a state of flow and everything is going in the right direction. It's combining those things that's actually really important to a creative process. Just having an endless budget and everything at your fingertips, I don't think is really a great way to foster creativity. So hopefully if you use some of these ideas, it helps you find new ways to make art, inspires new creative ideas, and gives you inspiration for your own work, whilst also saving you a little bit of money. The first budget-friendly material I want to talk to you about is waste products. There are a few different ways that you can use waste products, things that normally end up in either a rubbish bin that goes to landfill or a recycling bin that sometimes gets recycled, but usually by using a lot of resources and a lot of production. One of the things I've been doing for my own art practice is I've been learning how to make paper from scrap recycled paper. I've approached local community groups, I've approached my friends and family and people that I know, and they've given me bags of paper to work with, some of which is really high quality art grade paper, some of which is just printer paper. And you can use all of this. You can make sheets of your own high quality art grade paper that you can use for your artwork. Another technique that I've been exploring recently is Tetra Pak printing. So Tetra Pak printing takes the material that is used for milk cartons, like soy milk and almond milk cartons and juice cartons, and it opens this product up and you can use it to dry point etch into. This is a really affordable way to make prints because unlike something like dry point etching using a copper plate, you need to buy an expensive copper plate in order to do that. Or if you're using a chemical process to do etching, that means not only do you have the plate, you also need to have waxes and resists, and then you need to go through the chemical process as well, including buying all those materials and ensuring you're doing it safely. Something like Tetra Pak printing can be done in your own house with just about no new materials. You can pick up the implements you need to scratch into the Tetra Pak just about anywhere, and anyone can pick up that process if they want to. Another way that I would like to talk about sourcing sustainable and budget-friendly materials is using found objects and incorporating them into your artwork. There's a really rich history to found object art, and if you do some research into what the Surrealists were doing at the turn of the last century, you'll find some amazing inspiration to take things that are part of our usual world and elevate them or add whimsy to them or explore what is mundane and make it something so much more than that. One of my current projects is taking books that I find for really, really cheap or even just disposed of on the side of the street or that people who I know don't want. And I've been cutting away the insides to create sculptural kind of universes inside the book. I'm finding this to be a really rich way to take the work that I make that is 2D and kind of transport it into something that is 3D and can be experienced in sort of a new way. Another project that I'm planning to work on soon is incorporating these gloves that I found for $7 in an op shop. Something like these gloves no longer has a purpose in our society. Gloves were part of a culture that has long since died out, and while we think these things are really beautiful, we don't have a day-to-day use for them anymore. So finding a way to incorporate their form in an artwork, a sculptural artwork, is a new way to enjoy something that, whilst is really beautiful and holds kind of meaning, no longer has function or purpose for the majority of people. Another way we might think about using found objects is using objects in different ways than their original purpose as functional art objects. So one of the things that I've been doing recently is I've been using a pasta machine instead of a printing press, because rolling printing presses are really expensive and they're currently not something that's in my budget. A pasta machine is something that I could buy for $10 off Facebook Marketplace, and I could start doing Tetra Pak printing just with the materials that I had in my house otherwise. So the last idea I have for you in terms of sourcing budget-friendly art materials is to buy materials that you need secondhand. Whenever I go to a secondhand shop, I always look in the stationery and art supplies section of the store and the craft section. Basically, I look through the whole store, to be honest. I think you'd be surprised at the things you can find that people either bought and never found a use for, or donated for whatever reason. There's a bunch of reasons that stuff end up in op shops, but you can find really high quality art materials and art tools in these stores. Just this past week, I myself found these pencils, which when I look them up are these rare pencils that kind of have this collector value that people search for because they're no longer produced, and they were like a really high quality grade of graphite pencil at the time, and now they're a really sought after item because you simply can't buy them new in a store anymore. The other thing that I found was some Speedball Indian ink, and I use Indian ink pretty often in my own art, so I have a new bottle ready to go when I finish with the bottle I'm using right now. Facebook Marketplace is also a really great place to go if you're looking for specific materials. I usually buy any tech items that I need from Facebook Marketplace, but you can find just about anything on there, and it's just a matter of trying to get in first. I also sourced both of my typewriters on Facebook Marketplace. It can be a really fun way to get out for the weekend, go for a drive, go somewhere you've never been before, and pick up things at a low-cost price that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to afford. Another place that you can source often even full kits for specific art processes is on online groups. So like Facebook groups specifically aimed at printmakers, for example. I fairly regularly see people selling full kits, including carving tools, rollers, ink, even sometimes presses, at a really discount price, usually because they picked up the hobby, thought they had time for it, and it turns out they no longer do, or they realized it's not as fun or even as easy as they thought it was going to be. So it's really, really worth just being in a couple of these groups for the art processes that you're interested in and seeing what pops up. Creating art and creative practices don't need to be expensive. In fact, I think it's often better when they're not, when someone has gone out of their way to source materials that no one else would be able to find, when they've combined materials in new and exciting ways and come to a conclusion that nobody else would have. I think these are some of the most exciting ways to create art. And that feeling of chance and scarcity, and that everything aligned for you to find the specific item, feels really different than just going to an art store or ordering art supplies online. If I'm being honest, this year has been financially harder for me than past years, and so using some of these methods to find supplies has been a really invigorating way to look at my own art practice. And I really hope that these ideas also inspire you to make things that you had never thought of making before. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos about art making, my art practice, vlogs of my work life, and different printmaking processes that I use, please subscribe to my channel. I put up new videos every week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.